Show. How you doing today?
Pretty good, man.
Good. Steve, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Are you waking up yet?
A little bit. Got some coffee in me.
Nice. I got the pre-workout, some caffeine right here for me as well. I mean, not actually going to work out, just getting my heart rate up, watching some football, stressing about my fantasy teams. And then, of course, we've got the man from last year as well. Ben, how you doing?
Good day, sir. How you doing today?
Doing great. Not as great as you'll be in a little bit when you get to go to that Jets game. I mean, it's going to be a great matchup, right? Because
I can see it being a one-sided match, but I'm excited. We're gonna enjoy some football. We're gonna root on our fantasy teams, and we're gonna get a bomb. So I'm happy about it.
I love to hear it. With that in mind, before we dive into anything else, I want to go over the latest player injury news. With that in mind, players as of right now that I see listed as in: wide receiver Mike Evans, tight end Sam Laporta, running back Austin Ekeler, running back Keontae Ingram, wide receiver DK Metcalf, wide receiver Amon St. Brown, tight end Darren Waller, wide receiver Marquise Brown, and running back Saquon Barkley. Then for questionable, we have Njoku, Higgins, Kincaid, and Dell, but it's sounding like Dell is trending more towards out at this point. Jeff Wilson Jr. is doubtful as well. And then for out players, we have Jamar Gibbs. So if you have David Montgomery, absolutely have him in there. Roshan Johnson's out, along with Khalil Herbert. So it's going to be an interesting day in that Bears backfield, as if it wasn't ugly enough back there. Daniel Jones out. Miles Sanders out. Deshaun Watson out. Juju Smith-Schuster out. Tank Dell. Yeah, I forgot I moved him over here. And then Chase Claypool, along with two players on the IR that were not there last week, Justin Jefferson and Devin Achane. So with that in mind, we're just going to kind of just jump into some strong opinions before we get into our start sits. Jamie, off the bat, what are you thinking this week? What are you feeling good about?
I got a sleeper of the week, JSN. I think he's going to have his breakout game. I was looking at it since he allows 15 points per game to the slot. That's 52% going to the slot receivers compared to the out wide. And he plays 99 slot snaps compared to Lockett only playing 64. So I'm predicting a breakout week from JSN this week.
Any thoughts on JSN, Steve? You think you like him? You think this is his week?
Oh, yeah, I like him too. I think it's only a matter of time with him and, opportunities knocking.
Yeah. Ben, what are you thinking?
JSN, I'm waiting for him to pop off.
It's going to be this week, man.
I'm being honest with you. I love you, Jamie, but I don't think it's going to be this week. I think it's going to be a lock week. But he's going to pop off some week. I
think it's going to be like week 8 or week 9.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those weeks. And I tell you right now, even if I'm waiting for one of those guys to get hurt, if Lockett or DK get hurt, watch him go off.
Or it's going to be that week where no one wants to start him. It's a tough matchup. It's like, oh, he's not really getting as much volume. And that's going to be this first week of going off and making a statement. I mean, just knowing fantasy football, that's right. It's going to be week 8, week 9, once our guard drops a little bit. Oh, maybe I should play this guy that's hot. But no, JSN, I like it, Jamie. I like it. With that in mind, Steve, you also had what do you got for us? Another wide receiver, it looks like, up in Minnesota?
Yeah, I do, and sometimes I get these crazy thoughts in my head. So let me just walk you through the rationale.
You and I alike.
Not only do I think Jordan Addison's going to break out, I mean he's had 3 touchdowns in the last 6 games, but I think the Minnesota Viking less Justin Jefferson team is going to be on pace to make the playoffs. Little bit spicy, but just hear me out. Jordan Addison, like I said, he's the guy right now. They're playing some pretty soft matchups with the Bears and 49ers. Then after that, in week 8, they get the Packers, which is achievable. The Falcons is achievable. The Saints, and then back to Denver and Chicago. I think they could make it with Justin Addison as the main guy.
Wow, I like it. I was expecting you to just say Addison leads the way for the Vikings this week. I didn't think he's on.
I'm an IDP guy, so we like to research stuff, look at numbers. But yeah, I've been thinking him for a while. This is me saying that. Yeah, here it comes. So
I like it. I hope you're wrong as a Packer fan. I hope just terrible things upon the Minnesota franchise. No, that's not true. It's a respectful rivalry, kind of, not really. But Ben, with that in mind, you also have an opinion for us. What are you predicting this week?
Or in
general,
for what he was saying, I agree about 80% of what he's saying. other than the Vikings going to the playoffs, I agree everything that you say.
It's a hot take, so
Yeah,
I like it. I like it.
But for me, if you're not an Adam Thielen guy and you haven't aboard the Adam Thielen train yet, I don't know what you're doing. This guy, even when the Panthers suck, his garbage time points are out of control. He's just getting the ball left and right. So if you don't have him in your lineup, I don't know what you're doing. I put him in everything, to be honest with you. I got him in a parlay today.
Are we, speaking of both current and former Vikings wide receivers, how do we feel about KJ Osborne this week? Jamie, I'll start with you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to think because we've never seen Jefferson out before. It's been, 2.5 years since he missed a game. So it's hard to predict on where the targets are going, but I do see an uptick with Addison. Osborne's obviously going to get some targets. So I'll put him in as a flex.
Yeah. I think we can all agree for those who have Addison, we're going to hope it goes Addison's way and not Osborne's. Steve, what about you? How are you feeling about Osborne?
Don't tell my wife this, but when my wife makes roast beef, I'll eat it. It's on the table, but I'm not excited about it one bit. Hopefully, it's on a Wednesday or Thursday. But give me some pizza, give me some spicy takes any day of the week.
I like it. I like it. Ben, how about you?
Osborne is definitely one of those sneaky picks that you definitely have to watch out for because he has the capability of definitely moving the ball and getting you some great fantasy points. We've seen it last year. Like he popped off on a couple of games. So I wouldn't be surprised if he made a splash.
And my take, it's not too hot, but the aspect is more so in regards to the disrespectful projections I look at right now. Zach Moss, he's been good. Don't get me wrong. He's not Jonathan Taylor. JT, he got his extension. He took his time off, but I'm expecting a big workload once again. It's been an ugly team, but at the same time, they gave him the extension. I'm expecting them to slowly give him that workload back, but I think relative to that workload, I think he's just really going to go off and show people why he was worth stashing and being patient on this year in leagues. Any thoughts on JT? Steve, I'll start with you on this one.
No, not really. I mean, he's slow and steady. I have him starting in a couple 32 leagues I'm in, so I'll use it when I got Zach Moss is in relief, but yeah, not a whole lot there. I mean, you got stats, smoke them if you got them.
Yep. Jamie, how about you?
Yeah, I'm not starting JT over Moss. I'm starting Moss right now just until we see it from JT.
Ben?
See, I'm in a predicament right now, and I'll discuss it later because I don't want to jump the gun. But
yep.
Zach Moss, I mean, he's been putting up great numbers, and no one's expected it. I mean, as a person who has him on his team, and I haven't started him once, I regret it every time. So now I'm like, do I start him? But I also have Jonathan Taylor.
And we're going to have a few. We're going to have a few of these start sits to get into with the JT and Zach Moss. And speaking of which,
I don't want to jump the gun on this, but Zach Moss has definitely proven himself that he can definitely be a starter.
And with that in mind, we've got Josh and on the YouTube chat asking Zach Moss or JT. Jamie, it sounded like you're leaning in favor of Zach Moss.
Yep.
Steve, thoughts there? You as well?
Moss still, yeah.
And what about you, Ben?
Yeah, I think this week I would go Moss. Like I said, like Jamie said, like I just want to wait till Jonathan Taylor actually shows something. Like they want to use him because they left on bad terms, and all this other stuff. So they're trying to ease him right back in. He wanted a trade. So it's like, I don't know what the deal is. It's more than football over there. It's like you got to have chemistry and you got to have good relations. And right now, that's not what it is.
Yeah, I get it. For me, I'm still going JT, though. I got to hammer that JT right now. I mean, I think this is the week where he's going to remind us of why he felt he was worth that drama in the offseason. There was a very, very small workload last week. I think they were just trying to kind of get acclimated again, just with the plans of him being a part of the team. But I think with that in mind, I'm expecting to go back that way. We also have Zach on YouTube wondering, Zach Moss or Chuba Hubbard? Jamie, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to go Hubbard just because they're going to be playing from behind. Hubbard played over 80% of the snaps in the 2-minute drills. Panthers target the running backs most in the league. So if it's PPR, definitely go Hubbard. If it's standard, I'd lean Moss, but I would still probably put Hubbard in there.
Ben, thoughts?
I actually 100% agree with Jamie because we all know that Chuba Hubbard, when he was starting, he was getting a lot of receptions, a lot of check down receptions. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens this game. So I would definitely, in PPR, start Hubbard. And if it's standard, I would try to roll with Moss.
Steve?
Same. Hubbard is PPR gold, and then if you're doing standard still, you got to go with the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. Hubbard PPR, Zach Moss standard. I think we're all in agreement there. We also have Jake in the YouTube chat. Superflex. San Francisco wideout. I'm so focused on Superflex lately. I just see SF, and that's what I'm thinking. Debo or Ayuk? Ben, I'll go to you first.
Honestly, I'm going to ride with Ayuk. I mean, I feel like Ayuk is still the number one there. He's getting looks. I mean, and some people like Debo too. They'll focus their number one cornerback on Debo too. So it even leaves Ayuk with the number two cornerback. I like Ayuk this game, especially going against the Browns.
Steve?
Actually, same thing with Ayuk. Yeah, PPR, I'm going Ayuk. Debo has been so. Like you just said, their main guy is gonna cover Debo, so go with Ayuk.
Yeah, I have Ayuk wide receiver 14. I got Debo all the way down at 30. Debo's going to see a lot of Ward, and it's going to leave Ayuk being covered by our second-year guy. What was his name? Emerson. So I think Ayuk's going to eat.
Yeah, it hurts me to say, but Ayuk's got to be the play this week. Until I see it from Debo to really see, like the namesake, you got to lean in favor of Debo. But yeah, in regards to matchup, I like Ayuk on that cornerback too. The matchup's going to be there, and I think Ayuk's going to have a big day. So definitely lean there. But we also have Alex in the chat. Need a flex PPR, JT or Olave? I'm just going to jump in real quick. And as much as I like JT this week, I think you got to be responsible here and go Olave. Olave has been too consistent. As much as I do think JT has a big week, someone like Olave, he's been really productive this year, and I think it's hard to turn away from him at this point until we do see it. I mean, I think it's different with Zach Moss because we weren't necessarily expecting the production off the bat. But Olave, the expectations have been high, the production's been high, and you just got to ride with that. Steve, any thoughts on that?
Same exact thing. No thoughts there. I'm not really playing JT. As we said earlier, the stats aren't there until they get more comfortable. It's a political situation. They're more than an actual fantasy situation. So Olive all day.
Any counter arguments? Any other things? Are you guys in agreement?
I don't want to be a parrot unless I get a cracker. So
I've got some in the cabinet.
Yeah, no, I got Olave over JT in my flex ranks.
All right, perfect. So we're all in agreement there. And then we also have Josh. Josh, nice to see you as always, part of our GoingFor2 team. Jonnu Smith or Amari Cooper in Scott Fishbowl?
Ooh. Okay, if it's Scott Fishbowl, I'm gonna go Jonnu Smith.
Just tight end premium.
Tight end premium. I mean, it's over 2 points, right, for every catch. Amari Cooper's gonna be seeing a lot of Charvarius Ward. I don't like that matchup. So give me Jonnu.
If they're in an orange uniform, I'm probably out on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same here.
About as safe as that, whether it's Broncos or Browns, even the Bengals right now.
The only person on the Browns that I'm starting is Myles Garrett, and that's if you have IDP.
Steve, what do you think in regards to Jonnu or Amari?
I don't. That just blew my mind. Jonnu Smith over Cooper. I would have said Cooper, but I didn't know the substance. I didn't know the specifics behind Scott Fishbowl tight end premium. But you guys are right. I hate to be Parrot Keaton over here. I don't have crackers either. So let me just say Cooper to be in the minority, just so we have a little bit of resistance. I don't know. So give me Cooper because I don't know.
And like Josh said in the chat, imagine that question in the preseason. I couldn't agree more because
I know, it's crazy.
Come preseason, I would have said, why are you rostering Jonnu Smith? But I mean, we can see very quickly why, because clearly Kyle Pitts isn't it, sadly. Mm-hmm. We also have PJ Walker against 49ers sounds bad, and SFB is huge. Yep, you said it all there. So with that in mind, definitely go Jonnu Smith there, except for Steve's giving us a little bit of counter with Cooper. We also have Alex in the chat again saying flex PPR, Debo, Hollywood, or Osborne. I'll let you guys decide who goes first. Anyone have any clear opinions there?
I mean, it's not Debo. I want to. It's either
Who
between
the Cardinals playing
and
again?
Osborne. So here, let me look at my ranks real quick. I think I have Marquise Brown, wide receiver 24, Osborne 26. So it's close.
I'm gonna go Brown. I'm gonna go Brown over Osborne. Definitely, I'll go Brown over Debo. So let me like Jamie just said, it's close. I'll go Brown just because. I mean, the Cardinals are a train wreck. We know this. So just a simple who's ranked higher, you know?
Yeah. Ben?
Yeah. See, I like Hollywood Brown. I feel like that's like the most like, here's your answer. That's the most one that's popping out right now. But I'm looking at it. He's questionable. He's going against LA. Oh man. I don't want to be the guy to be like, yeah, I'm hopping on board. I'm gonna go with Debo. I'll take a shot with Debo. Just for the fact that he's
that rushing upside.
LA. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, it's if I was the typical fantasy guy, like I would go, no problem, Hollywood. I would still start Hollywood, but I'd probably take a shot at Debo.
Yeah, I mean, Debo's not too far down. I got him at wide receiver 29. So compared to the 26 for Osborne, 24 for Brown, it's close. They're only separated by like half a point.
I got to go with Debo here. Just the PPR, the potential chance for little dump passes and stuff. I don't know. Brock Purdy's look good, and I'm just going to trust the best quarterback out of the three here. And so that's where, if I'm going to pick two guys, obviously Debo's getting that primary cornerback matchup that I don't necessarily love, and we're expecting Ayuk to eat more. But out of these options, for me, it's between Debo and Hollywood. Slightly leaning in favor of Debo. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with any of these three. Sounds like we all have them in a very close range. So that's where, it's one A, B, or C. It's one of the same.
I think the only reason why I lean towards Debo is because they find unique ways to give him the ball. Like they'll hand him off, they'll throw it, they'll do post routes.
It's the coaching. It's that offense. Yeah, that's it more than anything. And thank you as always. Next up, thank you for popping in. We also have Daniel over on Facebook, full PPR, Drake London or Mike Thomas.
I'm going Drake London just because there's more upside with London than there is Thomas. Mike Thomas, is he still playing? I don't know. I don't want that in the lineup. I'm sorry. I don't want it.
He's actually relevant.
I know. I'm just saying they're probably close, but I think London's got more upside.
Ben?
Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, London definitely has more upside. The going against Houston, I don't see that being a huge scoring game. I can see that score being like 17-14.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Michael Thomas will get you a couple yards. I can see him getting like 40, 50 yards this game, but I don't see him getting a touchdown or anything. I go with London.
Jamie?
I'm going to go Thomas. Right now I got London at wide receiver 40. Thomas is wide receiver 21 for me, so let's go ahead and put Thomas in.
I'm leaning in favor of Mike Thomas. At this point with the Atlanta offense, I really only want Bijan. I think we've all been burnt enough by the Atlanta Falcons players at this point, whether it's Kyle Pitts, whether it's Drake London, whoever it is, we've all been burned a little bit. So
I feel you.
I've got to
roll the dice.
Mike Thomas. I mean, I do look at London as more of the high risk, high reward play there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Mike Thomas is just going to be my safer floor, so I'm going to go that way. But also with that in mind, you guys can count around this, but my mentality when I am setting lineups and I'm in a situation like this, I do like to consider where my matchup's at. If I feel like I'm at a safer projection, I'll take the higher risk play like Drake London. But if I need a more consistent floor, if I feel like it's going to be really close, then I'm going to make my Mike Thomas play. Just because I want to make sure I'm at least countering whatever production they're getting. Any thoughts there?
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that goes through everybody's head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured as much.
That's definitely going through your head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to articulate it as much as I could. That in mind, we also have Roger in the chat on YouTube. Do I roll the dice with Saquon Barkley versus Buffalo or roll with Zach Moss? Full PPR.
My friend actually asked me this question. I'm not lying.
Ben?
Roll the dice.
I told him, I was like, yo, if Saquon starts, you got to go with Saquon.
There it is.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I understand your concern, though. I really do. And it's tough to say that, especially someone from the outside looking in. It's easy for me to say start Saquon. But the JT thing, Zach Moss, we all know what he can do. We all know what he cannot do. And it's like, I don't know. I just go with Barkley. It's too much of a headache to think. I'm getting headaches again.
It's always rough when a guy's coming off an injury and we don't know what to expect. And then on the other side, we don't know what to expect with the whole JT thing. I'm going Barkley, and it's closer than it looks when you say it. The Bills give up 22 points a game to the running back, fantasy-wise. That's pretty significant. I think if you made me choose, I'd say Barkley. I'd take Barkley over Moss.
I got to go Barkley there myself. It is closer than I would like to say, just especially with how Zach Moss performed last week. We really do need to be mindful of that. Another thing is Daniel Jones is out. We don't know what that offense is going to look like. But that's where I also want to expect the volume is going to come Barkley's way as long as he's healthy and he's out there. So that's why I'm going to lean in favor of Barkley. Jamie, any thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, this is how close it is. I got Barkley at 27, Moss at 30, and it's separated by Spears and Elliott. I mean, that's how close it is for me. So, I mean, you roll the dice, pick which one, but I would roll with Barkley.
All right. It sounds like we're all in agreement there. We'll get right into the next one then. Justin is asking Calvin Ridley or Christian Kirk. So we got the Jacksonville options there. Man, talk about a weird start to the season with the Jags offense. I think we all had really high expectations for T-Law in this passing game, and hasn't been bad, but hasn't lived up to the expectations either. Which one do you guys like better?
So I have them both top 12. I got Kirk at 10, Ridley at 11, but you can flip-flop them either way. They played them in week 1. Ridley went off. Kirk put up a dud, but then what's his name? Zay Jones isn't playing this week, so we'll see a lot more Kirk on the outside. That's why I just put Kirk a little bit higher because he'll get those slot snaps and the outside snaps. But it's a toss-up for me, man, back-to-back. Both top 12.
Steve?
Yeah, if you look at the numbers through the season, 1 week it's Ridley, 1 week it's Kirk, back and forth. I do think Kirk is higher ranked, but give me Ridley just because that man is he's a beast. And if I have him in my lineups, I am counting on him for some kind of wide receiver 1-2 value. So I'm going to take Ridley there.
Ben?
I mean, for me, they're two great players, but I feel like it's just one-sided. And obviously, I'm going with Ridley just for the fact that I know what he's capable of. And anybody who's seen his practices on how fast he gets off that line, his agility, it's just like unmatched. And yeah, I'm definitely going to take Ridley on this one. Because I know, like, on a bad game, he'll get a semi-good game, Kirk Cousins numbers. Like Kirk Cousins goes off. I mean, not Kirk Cousins. Christian Kirk comes off, then,
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm in favor of Ridley there as well. But talk about a good situation to be in when you're having to bench one of those guys. So good for you, Justin. I mean, that's definitely the kind of lineup situation you want to be in where you're having to bench one of those guys. Definitely envious of that.
Start them both if you can, though.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there. We also have Roger again in the chat. Will Olave show up today? I have to choose between Olave, Michael Thomas, or I can pick up Palmer of the free agent pool.
Well, I was thinking about putting Olave as my sit of the week. So wait, he could pick up Thomas, Palmer. No, I'll just go with Olave. I do like Palmer though.
Nah, Olave. Not going to sugarcoat it. Say Olave.
This is an easy one for me. There's not a lot to really consider. It's
Right.
Olave straight up. I think highest floor, highest ceiling.
Which he's going to have a big game because he hasn't had one yet. So you can expect that any freaking week.
Yes.
Any week. Tell him.
And Palmer, I like the upside, but there is more risk there with that play. So I'm definitely going to lean in favor of Olave, and I'm going to feel most comfortable with that. And that's one of those as well where if it comes back to bite you in the butt, you can't really fault yourself either because you made the right play there. I think I look at some of these situations, and sometimes, when it's three guys of the same tier, it's like, damn, I can't believe I picked that guy over so and so. But when it's someone that's clearly above everyone else, no, you made the right play, and sometimes you just want to get them wrong. But with that in mind, I think Olave is the way to go there for sure. We also have Josh on YouTube saying Robert Woods or Njoku.
Am I missing something with that one? I would go Robert Woods.
Yeah, not Njoku, man.
Yeah, I don't understand. Maybe it's a different setting, but yeah, Robert Woods 99 times out of a.
I got Robert Woods at wide receiver 39, 28. Njoku's tight end 28 for me this week. So definitely go Robert Woods.
Right.
I think we're all in agreement here.
Yeah.
And once again, it's that Browns offense. I don't feel good about any Browns players right now, so that's where, Robert Woods is easily for me right there. Josh, I was sitting or starting Saquon based off if Jones played. Okay, that was back to what he was saying earlier. And then Justin Pierce also on YouTube. Thanks, guys. Now Jacksonville or Detroit for defense. We'll go to Mr. IDP himself first.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, that's a DST, so no telling. I mean, with a defense, you never know what you're going to get. Let's break the matchups down. The Jaguars are playing who?
Jacksonville is playing against, who was it? I had it up. I was just looking at it. Jacksonville is playing against.
I got this one.
They're playing against the Colts, and then we've got Detroit playing against
Tampa Bay. Yeah. You go Detroit.
You see, it kind of tells it right there. I mean, we got.
Oh, did he freeze for you guys as well?
Yeah, Steve, you're frozen.
Oh,
there you go. You're back.
Oh,
kind of.
Oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you now.
Yeah, like I said, when you're trying to rank DSTs, it gets a little bit trickier. But yeah, just overall, we know the game. We know the players in the Lions. We know what they can do. I'm going to go Lions there. Like I said, individual as opposed to DST, it's a little bit slightly different, but I'm going there just because the situation, the game they're playing. I don't really have too much more to say about a DST, but I would feel a lot better with Dan Campbell's Lions. They've been playing great football, rushing the passer. All the weaknesses of years past, they're actually playing better football now, and they've cleaned up a lot of that in the pass coverage too.
Yeah, see, I don't rank ESTs, but trusted source that I follow, they have the Jags at EST 21 and Lions at number 9, so I would trust them.
Yeah, generally in fantasy football, I usually punt DST and I'll stream it week to week because it's so tricky. It's so much different than individual. But yeah, I agree. I'd go Lions.
Yeah, I want to go Jacksonville there because I like Tampa Bay so far this year, but realistically, I don't trust anyone in the AFC South division. I mean, every time they play each other, you think it's going to go a certain way, and it doesn't.
That's true.
So with that in mind, I'm just going to trust what we've seen, and I'm going to go with Detroit as well. We also have Doc popping in. Doc, good to see you as always. Happy Sunday to you. So QB2 in a super flex league. Derek Carr or Jimmy G in the revenge game against Bill?
Ooh. I might go Derek Carr. New England's so good at taking away the number one receiver. So I don't see Adams doing that good. Myers could have a big game. They might just use Jacobs a lot, but Carr, you got Olave, you got Michael Thomas, you got Kamara, you got the weapons. So I'm going with more of the weapon side. I'm going with Carr.
Yeah, I'm going with Derek Carr also. I feel like for me, because Jimmy G, he has Devontae Adams, but other than that, they mostly rely on kind of Josh Jacobs and all them. So I know with Derek Carr, he'll toss it to Olave. He could do a lot of that stuff. He has weapons. We all know his weapons. Carr seems like the most logical answer, at least right here.
My rankings, I got Carr 15, UG 21. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah, wasn't Jimmy G leading the league, or he was up there in interceptions for a minute there, if memory serves. I don't know, but if you're turnover prone, Bill Belichick's going to get you. So I'm going to go with Carr. Carr is not very exciting, but he has all these pieces around him, and he'll give you a steady floor.
Yeah, I'm going Carr as well there. I just trust the floor again. Yeah, those weapons there just make me feel a lot more comfortable with that play. Yeah, Derek Carr is my play there.
If you don't mind interrupting, I got one from a Facebook user, T. Higgins and James Cook at flex. Now, I am not starting T. Higgins this week. With that rib injury, it's going to bother him all year long. They might throw him out there as a decoy, but I do love James Cook this week.
It was James Cook or who?
Higgins.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's playing the Giants, so I can see James Cook going off there too. So, yeah, if I had to, I guess I would go Cook.
I would go Cook. Yeah.
Yeah, I think until we see the Bengals show what we expected, like coming into the year, I'm out. Right now, obviously Jamar is Jamar, but with T right now, it's been brutal. Yeah,
I do like Tyler Boyd this week, man, because that team's horrible against the slot.
And James Cook has been very productive, so I'm going to
Giants give up 25 fantasy points per game to that position, so I think you're on to something there, Jamie.
And I don't see it stopping this week. No, not the
I don't want to interrupt, but Ryan Tannehill, I think, just left the game.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no one cares. No one started Tannehill. Well, actually, I'm playing.
Just saying. If you have D-Hop,
you
got D-Hop.
I'm starting Tannehill in a league, Jamie.
Are you? Damn,
yeah.
That sucks.
Called an injury and a bye week.
Oh, yeah.
My QB4. No, and with that in mind, yeah. I mean, not like Tannehill was producing much anyway. So hopefully, whatever points you got from him were enough to help you in your matchup anyway. Because you weren't probably expecting a lot from Tannehill anyway.
Yeah.
Also, so we'll get into another start sit. Back to what we were kind of discussing earlier with Ben. This is yours. Zach Moss, JT, or Jerome Ford. I know we discussed Moss versus JT, but are we even going to consider Ford there versus the Niners instead?
So this is an actual lineup that I have right now.
Yeah.
And right now I have Zach Moss in, blocked and ready to go. I just wanted a second opinion because I know, Jerome Ford, I don't know what's going on with Hunt yet. Is this going to be the game where they unleash him? Because we know what we can do. He's been in the system. He knows the system. Yeah, I just wanted to know your input. Right now I have Zach Moss ready, lock and loaded.
Yeah, I mean, Hunt hasn't looked good either way. He's lost a step. It's not going to affect Ford much, but I don't trust the Browns' offense right now. Like I know I told people to sit Ford when they played Tennessee, and he ended up getting that touchdown. Well, that's fluky. We can't predict touchdowns. They're volatile. So,
and the only reason why I'm in this situation is because Nick Chubb went down.
Yeah. So go ahead and start Moss.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we just said, Ford's my third in that situation. So I'd go Moss, Taylor, and Ford.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I'm leaning in favor of JT just slightly, but same thing. It's yeah. Also, with your other one, you had Dalton Schultz, Jake Ferguson, or Kyle Pitts. Was this a tight end premium or is this just a standard PPR?
This is a tight end premium league.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm in this right now, this funk, because I have my my tight end. He was on a bye, so I need one of these guys. And I have Kyle Pitts. Someone dropped him, which I don't understand why. I guess he was just frustrated with him, so he just dropped him.
If you look at Jake Ferguson's been pretty darn good this year.
I know. And Dalton Schultz has been lining it up too.
And
he's had a couple good games.
I just traded Jake in a dynasty league.
Did you? For what?
I gave him in 2 seconds for Daniel Jones. 12-team super flex. I know if I'm the 1 seed, it's gonna be an end of the draft pick. So you're not gonna get a QB there. And I'll always take the extra QB. I know Daniel Jones hasn't been good, but it's like, hey, he's young. He's on a contract. He's going to get more opportunities. And quarterbacks are quarterbacks in a super flex league. So you got it can't hurt to have more.
Exactly.
If there's 4 or 5 starters out of the 32 and they're on your roster, even if it's that Jimmy G and Derek Carr situation earlier, you want those options on those ugly weeks, because then I don't have to start the Tannehills like I am right now.
Mhm.
But right now, for that tight end situation, I do have Jake Ferguson in. But I don't know why I'm leaning towards Kyle Pitts at second. I don't know why. I don't trust him. But for some reason, that Washington matchup, I have a feeling that he might get a good amount of targets.
All right, so right now it's between what? Kyle Pitts.
So we got
Schultz,
Dalton
Ferguson,
Schultz at
Pitts.
New Orleans, versus New Orleans, not at. Jake Ferguson at the Chargers, and Kyle Pitts versus Washington.
All right, yeah, I got Ferguson tight end 5 this week. Pitts number 7, but I also have Jonnu. I had to put him close, so he's 14. You're a Cowboys fan, man. Just go Ferguson. I got him ranked highest.
I think, Jamie, are you feeling it? Did you say Kyle Pitts tight end 7? This isn't
because you know the talent, and it could go Kyle Pitts' way. We seen him last week kind of step up a little bit.
That's why I was I saw that same game you watched, and that's why I'm like, maybe I should ask these guys.
Let's look at it through the IDP lens, okay?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Jake Ferguson is going up against a team that's giving up 7.5 points a game to the tight end position. Okay. Pitts is going up against the team, Washington, pretty sturdy. They're only giving up 5.9. Okay. So what does that tell us? Translation. Okay. They're a little bit better tight end of this one. So if you're starting Pitts, you're looking at upside. You're looking at that home run swing. Nothing wrong with that. You drafted Pitts for a reason. I'm going Ferguson. You see a lot of my picks are slow and steady. I just want to get home. I don't want the Corvette. I want a Volkswagen. I just want to fill my tank up and get home. Jake Ferguson's going to get me home. That's a tight end 8 any given week. That's just enough to get me home, So that's where I'm going. That's where my thought is.
I couldn't agree more. To me, it's not very close either. It's Jake Ferguson and then everyone else. I know Jamie.
Okay.
Well, I got Ferguson.
Making sure I got the right guy in. That's all.
As much as I want to say Kyle Pitts,
don't hurt.
I want to consider Kyle Pitts. Anytime I see his name, I'm like, oh yeah, Kyle. But
okay.
I gotta wait and see.
Right.
I think we've all been burned by the Falcons enough times. Josh in the chat again saying Debo or Gabe Davis.
Oh man.
I'm going Debo. I'll just say that first and foremost. I'm not a big Gabe Davis guy. He just scares me a lot. I think it seems a little unpredictable at times, but I think that would actually apply to both of them. I think there's definitely weeks where we expect certain amount of production from either of them, and they don't necessarily live up to that. And then other weeks they'll have these massive games.
Yep.
So I think it's very much so boom bust either way you go there. Any preference there, Steve?
I'm very bitter towards Gabe Davis. I mean, he has screwed me over so many times, so maybe I'm being biased. But you're right. He'll have a big boom game or he won't. So give me Debo.
Jamie?
I got Debo ranked a little bit higher than Gabe, but I do like Gabe this week. I apologized to all the viewers last Tuesday about how wrong I was about Gabe, because he has been consistent. Guys, that week 1 game where he only put up 5 points, he's been pretty consistent lately. So I wouldn't mind starting Gabe, but I would go Debo in this situation, even though I don't like Debo against the Browns.
I think I don't like Debo against the Browns either. I think that's one thing with that match. I don't necessarily love it, but at the same time, I expect the Browns to be giving the ball up a lot. So even though I do like the Browns defense, I look at the 49ers as being on offense a lot. So that's where I'm on favor Debo there. And also, for some reason, the Bills just haven't lived up to my preseason expectations on offense. I really thought that we were going to see a lot of just high scoring weeks, high fantasy point weeks for a lot of their weapons. And they haven't been bad, but they haven't been that dominant AFC East team that I was initially expecting. Do you guys agree there? Ben?
Yep.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. Like I said, even with the Debo thing, I still like Debo over Gabe Davis also. But I know I didn't put my opinion on it, but yeah, Debo, Gabe Davis, I'm all about that too. I'm like I said, they know how to give Debo the ball.
Yeah. And again, that's a great situation to be in roster wise. When you're having to pick between those two, Gabe Davis is the kind of guy I'm happy I'm benching because that means I've got a surplus of talent on my roster.
Exactly.
So that's
good. That's a good.
Yeah, great spot to be in, especially compared to our next 1.5 point PPR. We've got Jason over here with DeMarcado or Ahmed, 1/2 point PPR. Now we're getting into it. Now we're getting deep.
Like, oh man, I lost my whole team. This is what I'm dealing with.
I got Nick Chubb on the IR. I got JT still coming back. I've got Aaron Jones out and on a bye. That's this kind of situation right here. Any thoughts?
See, my heart wants me to say Ahmad, but I'm going with Marco just for the fact that I know the Cardinals like running the ball. They did with Connor. So I'll take a stab at it. I mean, and Ahmad, he's the number 2. DeMarco, as of right now, I think he's the number 1. So
they have DeMarcado listed as the RB2 on the depth chart right now, but I'm still going to play DeMarcado.
He's playing the Rams. I mean, so
and Ingram's coming back from that neck injury. Who knows how much they're going to use him? So I like Dr. Mikado.
Dr. Mikado.
Oh yeah, Kyle Senra, GoingFor2 analyst. He coined that phrase, and I'm trying to get the whole industry to start calling him Dr. Mikado. And it has worked so far. Into like a few people have been calling him Dr. Mikado.
Just because it's him, I'm one resist.
That Dolphins running back room. I mean, it's like hot potato, musical chairs or something. Isn't Jeff Wilson? Did he come off the IR yet? I don't even know.
No, he's out this week.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that. You can scoop him a couple places too at some point, but I don't trust any of those running backs. Whoever runs the fastest, I guess they have a race in the parking lot. Whoever runs the fastest gets to start that week. I don't know.
Yeah.
They make sure the running back room shows up early. They got to do their track meet every week. No, it sounds like we're all in agreement there, though.
Yep,
Dr. Mikado.
And then, and Josh says, in regards to his Debo versus Gabe Davis, he says, thanks, guys. Kirk and DK were my other wide receivers, and that was too easy. I agree there as well. And we also have, Doc's over here saying there's only one Doc at GF2, Jamie. Come on now.
What? Oh, yeah, sorry. Dr. James Ferretti, man.
That's the only doctor I know. Oh, and go buy his book.
Go buy his book. It's awesome.
Yep.
Injuries suck, but your fantasy team doesn't have to.
Or you can be like some of my teams. The injuries suck, and so does your fantasy team. And I don't own his book. That's the problem. So go buy it on Amazon.
Yep.
With that in mind, we also have some more start sits to get into. We have for a RB2 situation, Chuba Hubbard or Deontay Foreman.
Man, I've been getting this question all week long.
Is it bad that it's not even close for me for where I have Chuba versus where I have Deontay?
I won't be shocked.
It's the Bears, I think that's all I have to say about it, really. I mean, I obviously the Panthers aren't any better. These are two of the bottom teams in the league right now. Obviously, the Bears are showing a little bit more promise, but Deontay is usually listed as their RB3. There's a reason for that as well. And I think with that in mind, I'm one lean in favor of Chuba. Obviously, I like Miami's defense better than Minnesota's, but I'm going to trust that Chuba is going to produce more, especially in that PPR format.
Yeah, well said. It's Hubbard for me as well, especially PPR and all that stuff. But if I'm not mistaken, Foreman's more of like a touchdown kind of dependent kind of guy, and I just don't. You said it yourself. It's the Bears. I don't trust it. I don't know.
Yeah, plus when they get to the goal line, Justin Fields can take away that touchdown.
There you go. Another good point. So, Hubbard.
I just look at both of those guys as volume, but not necessarily the production with it. And I think that's where it's with those margins, I'm still definitely leaning in favor of Hubbard. Another start sit we have. This is one of mine. I have to pick one for a flex spot, 12-team super flex PPR. Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Joshua Palmer, Brian Robinson.
Well, it's not Elijah Moore.
Yeah, I was going to say,
it's
I put
definitely not
Elijah
Elijah
Moore
Moore.
in there just out of respect because the Browns do still play on Sundays, and we have a Browns fan on the show, so I figured I'd at least list him. But, I got to say it's between Garrett Wilson, Joshua Palmer, Brian Robinson. Usually, Garrett Wilson would be the easy, obvious play,
Yeah.
but we do have the Mormon Mahomes throwing him the ball, and that is not a good thing.
So I want to say Philly has been pretty horrible this year against outside receivers. Darius Slay has not been stepping up. I actually put Palmer above Wilson this week, but it's hard, man. They're both wide receiver threes for me.
You guys remember that Jets game? I think they're playing the Chiefs, and Wilson put that ball. Wilson just catches that bullet like right here, and that's just burned in my memory. That's burned in my retinas. So like this, in spite of all odds, in spite of all situation, give me Garrett Wilson. I'm gonna start him. I'm not expecting 1 or 2 volume. I'm going floor there. I know he's not highly ranked. I know the situation. I'm gonna take Wilson
over Brian Robinson as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least to be different. I'll take Wilson.
Yeah. I have Garrett Wilson still in my lineup, but it hurts me every week because, clearly he's not that top-tier wide receiver that you hoped for at the beginning of the year without Aaron Rodgers there. It hurts, but yeah, I still got to trust that talent. And like Jamie alluded to, Darius Slay hasn't been necessarily what we expected this year either. And, they're going to try and feed him when they can. It's just a matter of, can Zach Wilson get enough of him on target? Because while Steve has a certain memory of, Garrett Wilson getting drilled right here, I've got other ones of, Garrett Wilson doing a streak route and suddenly, Zach Wilson's throwing it out of bounds.
We call that recency bias, yeah. So
I respect it.
Dell's defense has a pretty decent against receivers, so yeah, I'm going to put Garrett Wilson just because they're going to be playing from behind.
And what about and in another one, I've got Cole Kmet or Jake Ferguson. Pick one. I'm going to Antonio Gibson's there as well, but I'm not even really going to mention him just based off how we feel about Brian Robinson. I'm going to assume it's the same, but even worse for Antonio Gibson. So I'm going to assume, Kmet or Ferguson there.
They're both top 10 for me, but I got Cole Kmet at the bottom part of that top 10, and Ferguson's right in the middle at tight end 5. So I'm going Ferguson.
I'm going Kmet very slightly. And really, one's playing Minnesota, one's playing the Chargers. Point difference between the two, but I'll take Kmet.
Ben?
Hey, sorry, I was frozen for a little while, I think.
You're good. Kmet or Ferguson is the question.
So we got Cole Kmet.
Cole Kmet or Jake Ferguson? Yeah. Yep. That's
I would go Jake Ferguson. Antonio Gibson, I have no faith in. Like I don't even want to start him. I don't even want to look at his name, to be honest with you. Cole Kmet is definitely a toss-up, just for the fact that they're gonna face Minnesota, and I feel like they're gonna be throwing a lot. So maybe there for PPR, but this is not PPR, right?
This is PPR. Yeah, this is PPR.
Yeah. Actually, I'll be the lone shark. I'll go Cole Kmet versus Minnesota. I have a feel he's very touchdown dependent. He can definitely get a touchdown in this game.
We have 2 sharks.
Yep.
Oh, there's 2 people? Oh,
me and you. We're Hammerhead brothers.
Hey.
We have 3. Ooh.
So I'm the lone wolf.
I have Cole Kmet as the one in my starting spot right now, but it's one of those situations I'm happy to be in because this is a flex spot play for me due to bye weeks, and this is my tight end 2 and tight end 3 I'm turning to. I've got Mark Andrews holding down that tight end position, and then I've got Kmet and Ferguson trying to work their way into my flex spots. So with that in mind, as much as I don't trust the Bears, Kmet, I was high on him last year. He showed a little bit of it, and now he's just showing even more. It's looking like the chemistry's there with Fields, where outside of DJ Moore, I really feel like that's the guy he's turning to on the field, and that's why I like Komet there. Ferguson, I mean, he's looked great, but it also does scare me how often it looks like they have other tight ends on the field. Ferguson's getting a lot of volume, but I know the Cowboys are always, giving those other guys some chances as well. Also, we have another one. This is a PPR as well. Robert Woods or Jamison Williams?
Damn.
Who put that there?
Yeah, I don't want either of those.
Who put that there? Of course you did.
Talk about polar opposites. And again, it's a situation. One guy's the Volkswagen, Robert Woods. He'll get you home. Not nothing exciting. I'm not going to pick chicks up on the weekend. I'm not going to stop by Dairy
Get me to my driveway. He won't get me
The
home.
other-
Get me to my driveway.
The other guy's Jamison Williams, who's the Corvette that never runs. It's in my garage. What good is that? So give me Robert Woods, sadly, but I will do that because I'm investing my money where I know I can get something out of it. At least I'll get points if I take Robert Woods. Jamison, I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm not even finding Robert Woods in my rankings right now. Or James Williams.
It's bad.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you this right now. If I'm looking at these two, I'm going for gold. I'm going Jamison Williams because if this guy goes off on my fucking bench because I start Robert Woods off of him, I'm going to be pissed. I probably will throw my phone at my TV. I'm not.
How healthy right now is St. Brown? Is he going to be used as like a decoy?
I don't care. What do you think Robert Woods is going to do?
Do you want that vet in the garage, or do you want to go? You want to get home?
So this is a fairly close matchup. This is in our Going for Two staff dynasty league that Jamie's a part of. This is just a rough week for me because I have Daniel Jones and Jordan Love both out this week, so I had to put Kincaid in my super flex spot, which I had to shift everything else along with Christian Watson on a bye, Luke Musgrave on a bye, and Justin Jefferson now on the IR. So it was just kind of the collection of everything where suddenly I had to go to my 7th and 8th options. And that's where, Jamison and Robert Woods. I have Robert Woods in my lineup right now just because of that safer play.
I found Robert Woods in my rankings. He's wide receiver 39.
Oh.
And then Jameson Williams all the way down at wide receiver 90.
I don't have Jamison that low. I expect more than that. But I want to wait and see with Jamison.
But you know what Ben said, though, that's an interesting take. You have the ultimate floor versus the ultimate ceiling. If you're if you're the underdog, you're playing the number 1 seed this week, stack all your home run guys. Put all those guys in and see what happens. You never know. So
and that's where, I'm going for the safe floor because this is a lineup filled with Kamara, Garrett Wilson, Tyreek Hill, Austin Ekeler, Kyren Williams, Puka Nacua. So I feel like I have a lot of safe plays that should produce for me. And actually because I have so many safe plays, we're actually going to put Jamison in. I just changed my mind. Yeah. As I was looking at that, I'm like, wow, I feel really good about a lot of those guys. And with that in mind, that's where I'm one slide on over. And let's see, wow, is that Kincaid in a super flex spot? Yeah, it's a rough situation this week. Like I said, I've got Jordan Love on a bye, Daniel Jones out, Christian Watson on a bye, Musgrave on a bye, Jefferson on the IR, which just shifted everyone up. It's not the spot I ideally want to be in, but no, as always, NBA Rig, good to see you. We're glad. Jamie, they want to know how you're doing. How are you? How's the Browns community in general?
And no, we're taking a nap this week.
Yep. As always. And then for another start-sit question, this one is a little trickier. So this is a tight end premium, 12-team Superflex, PPR, and it's a Devy league. Just that doesn't really matter for any of the start-sit stuff, but thought I'd add that in there. It's Chuba, Ferguson, Chig, or Pitts. So we've got Ferguson, Okonkwo, or Pitts for tight end options there. And like I said, it's a premium or it's Hubbard.
Do we know the scoring of the tight end premium? I'm just curious.
It's half point. Half point.
I would go Hubbard.
Yeah. So if maybe I'm wrong here, but like if I'm in a league, first thing I'm doing, I'm looking at scoring. If I have 2-point TEP or if I have 1-point TEP, that's when I'm bleeding it dry. I'm loading up all the tight ends. If it's 0.5, I'll go with the better player, Hubbard.
You think Hubbard's going to be that volume will be enough to counter, like that tight end 5 or whatever we have Jake Ferguson projected at for Jamie's rankings?
Yeah, I'm going to go Hubbard still. I think I'd rather the running back than the tight end if it's just 0.5, in my opinion.
I agree with that. It does hurt me to say that Kyle Pitts is that least considered option out of those 4. Because I definitely did not take Kyle Pitts in a spot in that startup where I planned to have him that far down my bench. But are we all in agreement there with Chuba?
Yeah, I like Chuba.
And then another one, same thing. This one is not a tight end premium, so I think I already have our answer. But Chuba, Jake Ferguson, or Chig sounds just like Chuba.
Chuba.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I actually have one more for you that I didn't put in.
Yes, sir.
So I got Garrett Wilson at versus Philly, Adam Thielen at Miami, or Scary Terry at Atlanta. And for me, I think it's a no-brainer, but I had an argument with a friend, and he swears up and down that Garrett Wilson is going to outproject Adam Thielen. He swore up and down to me. So I wanted to ask you guys this, because right now I have Adam Thielen in my starting lineup, and this is full point PPR.
I'd take Thielen over all 3 of them. Do you see what he's been doing the last couple of weeks?
That's what I've been saying, but he swears up and down that this game's going to be a blowout. He thinks the Eagles are going to win by at least 2 touchdowns, maybe 17 points, and Garrett Wilson was going to get a touchdown and just eat up. He thinks he's going to get 90 yards and a touchdown.
Miami gives up 30 points a game to the wide receiver position. Thielen's been the guy. I mean, he's not the popular name, but that's what I would do.
So that's what I got. I got Thielen in right now. What do you guys think? And then we also Scary Terry.
Yeah, no, I got Thielen, wide receiver 20. So, I would definitely go with Thielen because Wilson's down. Wide receiver.
Thielen's been ridiculously underrated all year.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys.
And it gets masked, too, by the underwhelming start by Bryce Young as well. And I think that's part of why – I think if Bryce Young was doing something similar to what C.J. Stroud was doing in Houston, people would be raving about Thielen right now because there would be that excitement about the quarterback position as well and what we project week to week with that. I like Thielen there for that play. It's painful to say because if you took Garrett Wilson – or if you have him, you took him early, you're hoping for a lot. But Thielen's been so consistent. It looks like Bryce Young just really trusts him, feels comfortable going to him. And I got to trust. There for me, it's about quarterbacks. And while Bryce Young hasn't looked good, per se, he's looked a lot better than Zach Wilson. I think we can all agree with that.
Yep.
And with that in mind, it's definitely I got to go that route. Adam Thielen's the play there for me. And speaking of that, we also have some bets. Jamie, you had one on here, the plus 550 for a parlay. And I believe this is a same game parlay for the Ravens.
Oh yeah, that's already going on right now. I don't know if it's hitting or not.
You don't know if it's hitting?
24-13 Ravens.
I had a Zay Flower prediction, and I took him again for the second week in a row with his fantasy 6-pack for my Silly String Challenge. I believe I hit that over 10.7 half-point PPRs, but the parlay was the anytime touchdown. So I thought he was going to get his first touchdown. He got that. I thought he was going to get over 4.5 receptions with 60-plus yards.
He's at 50.
You're 1 reception and 10 yards short.
Yep.
So,
jeez. And the game's almost over, right?
Yep. The Titans have the ball
back.
Yeah.
So I lost that parlay.
It's first and goal right now. Tennessee has the ball.
Yeah.
And Ben, didn't you say you had a bet for us as well?
I do. So
how about you share that with us?
I have. So I don't know what you guys do. If you do DraftKings or FanDuel, like right now, like I do DraftKings and FanDuel because I'm a degenerate.
Yeah.
But
like all of us. Yeah. No judgment-free zone. Yep.
Yeah. So right now, if you go on FanDuel. While I'm rocking a DraftKings hat, if you go on FanDuel, they have boosters that you can do 50% booster right now. I have a Raheem Mostert. All these are anytime touchdowns too. This is for 1 o'clock games. So I have Raheem Mostert, Tyreek Hill, Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Bijan Robinson. All anytime touchdowns. And then I also have Adam Thielen 50 yards receiving. And right there, that's plus 42.66 with a 30% booster that you would get. And for $10, you can make $437 on that bet.
Oh, crap.
And it seems like all of them sound guaranteed. That's just me. But
Yeah, I mean, we say it every week. It's going to be a guarantee, but one of them is not going to hit. And it's
so
gonna
that's what I got right now.
Not with that mentality, Jamie. You have to believe to achieve. Come on now.
6 legs part. Yo, I've done these parlays, especially last year. I hit on one big one.
Yep.
And I called it live.
You know, the unfortunate part about parlays is, statistically speaking, anything with more than 3 legs is unrealistic to hit, regardless of how great they look like they're going to hit. But I do like the play. You know, I've been a little bit more conservative on my gambling this year.
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't jump on that, but that's because, lately I've just been trying to jump on those minus 130s, that kind of stuff, and just trying to play the smart money.
I feel you.
It's I'm trying to do the responsible thing. It's not very fun.
Very responsible.
It's not very fun. It's not very sexy either. But hey, it's working. At least I'm making my money back. We also have NBA rigged in here. Is Tennessee done for the season? Will they finish 3rd or 4th in the AFC South? I think they're going to finish towards the bottom. I mean, Houston and Jacksonville are my top 2 teams in that division. The Colts, I think, are going to give Tennessee a run for their money for that 4th place. But, I've been really impressed with Houston so far. I think we can all agree with that. I mean, CJ Stroud, there were high expectations based off of where he went in the draft, but I think it's safe to say he's exceeded all those expectations. And also, the Houston defense has been good. Or, relative. It's not top tier defense, but again, this is a team that was at the top of the draft last year, and they're not quite looking like that right now. Thoughts there, Steve?
Yeah, if you look at the Titans, that team screams rebuild. They're older, middle of the pack everywhere. Their defense has been pretty bad. Players in individual defensive leagues that you rely on, they're nowhere to be seen. Harold Landry, what have you. But yeah, that team right there screams to me sub 500, middle of the pack. So 3rd place sounds good. Yeah. I see them fighting all year. That's just how they're built, and that's how their coach is. But I don't see anything special going out of there. Just mediocrity right now.
Yeah, I think that 7-10, 6-11 kind of range. A lot of 23-17 kind of games. It's hard to see them out of many contests, but it's also hard to see them having a lot of game-winning drives where they come out on top in those contests. Jamie, any thoughts there?
I mean, Steve said it the best. I don't know. I can't really add to that. So,
Ben, any thoughts before we jump on to the next part? Ben? Nope. All right. Jamie, if Cleveland upsets San Francisco today, will there be a riot in Cleveland?
There's no way Cleveland is going to upset San Francisco. I will put my house on it. I don't see it happening.
I can't argue.
With PJ Walker, possibly if Deshaun Watson was looking like we thought he was going to be this year, I could say there would be a chance just because of Cleveland's defense is so good, but nope. I'm not going to riot. I'm going to take a nap.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, nap time it is. Now, with that in mind, thank you everyone for joining us on Week 6. Jamie, please tell everyone where they can find you.
Yeah, right here on GoingFor2 every Sunday morning, and then Tuesday night we do the cheat sheet, and then I'll be on Steve's IDP show this week. Test that out.
And Steve, how about you? Thank you as always for joining us, and please tell everyone where they can find you as well.
My Twitter handle is IDP Hunter. I'm a writer analyst over at the Fancy Six Pack and IDP Guys. I also do ECR rankings, and I have my own show It just started. This is my second show. I'm bringing Jamie on as my sacrificial lamb. So if I bomb, we bomb together. And I'm teasing. But anyway, I do an IDP standings ranking show. It airs Wednesday nights. I think Thursdays they record it. So you guys can find me anywhere in this space. I'm on Facebook, but Twitter is usually if you have any questions on IDP, you can find me there. And let me just say, it was fun talking to you guys. People don't pay me to talk offense. I don't really. I'm just one of the guys on offense. Defense is usually where people talk to me at. So this was fun, just broing down with y'all and answering questions. And I wish you luck in all your games this week.
Yeah, no, don't be so modest, man, because I heard you're the #1 IDP ranker.
We're gonna ruffle some feathers with that one. I'm just the guy in this space, and I'm just happy to be here.
And Ben, tell everyone where they can find you at.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Hey, you can find me. I'm mostly on TikTok right now. You can follow me at drfgoods. At Dr. F Goods PPR. So I'm mostly on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. You can find me here at Going for2. Sometimes I'll make a splash appearance. So yeah, let's go. Let's go Cowboys. Even though I'm very disappointed right now.
Hey, you got to bring up your new TikTok video that's been getting hundreds of thousands of views, man.
Oh yeah, so NFL baby. I don't know if you heard it or not, but my daughter has been picking helmets. Basically just setting up helmets and picking one or another, making parlays and stuff like that. And people have been winning. People have been posting. All the NFL teams, for the most part, have been posting on my TikTok. From the Detroit Lions to the Cowboys to the Eagles to almost everybody. You can just look for yourself, 5.5 million views. It's insane. But come see that, if you like picks, if you like talking smack on the opposite team, because that's mostly what everybody does on there. So, but other than that, come back to Going for Two, and we'll talk some more football.
Yes, sir. And you can find me on Twitter at BehindTheZach. Otherwise, you can follow me all around Going for Two. I kind of bounce around a little bit. Otherwise, I'm here every Sunday morning. But thank you as always. Good to have Jamie, Steve, Ben. Good luck in all your fantasy matchups this week, and enjoy watching the